Hey, what's up? I'm glad that you're back. Well, I'm so happy to see you, and I hope that you're ready for today's episode. It's gonna be a little bit different from what I usually do. Well, I just got started, so what am I talking about? So I wanted to make this video because it was kind of like a weird or interesting conversation I had about 5 months ago, and it was about white guilt. Don't boo me. Don't throw your eggs at me yet. Okay. I thought it was an interesting conversation, and I had to really understand it from a point of view of, well, for one, I'm older and I have to kind of understand the kind of climate we live in and understand how people are raising people and how social media has a lot to do with reinforcing the stereotypes and the misrepresentation. So I have to keep that in mind, but without any more waiting, let's get to it. So 5 months ago, I had a conversation with my boss who happens to be younger, and he is a white guy, blonde hair, blue eyes, fairly attractive, seems very polite, hard worker, nothing really I could say terrible about him, that I felt like he's done to me or anything. So, or at work, I always felt like he was pretty much on point. One of his closest friends actually worked at the company that I was working at, or that I'm just still working at. But, since the shutdown, we've been kind of just hanging out at home and working from home. And during this work day, we were having a conversation about white guilt. And you're probably wondering, like, why would we have this conversation? Well, he had just recently ended a friendship with a friend who happens to be African American, and he was a lot less fortunate, and they're like their early 20s. They're like in their early 20s, and they had a little, just like some beef, and they kind of fell out and they stopped being friends. And for 8 months, it was just like so tough. Like, we were working together and you could tell, like, you could literally cut the tension with a knife. It was just insane. Okay. But I decided to ask some questions, like, what made you, and for the sake of storytelling, I'm going to call him Zach. So I asked him what Zach, the white guy, why did he befriend the black guy? And for the sake of the story, we're going to name him LeBron, right? Fuck, who cares? So I feel like when he was telling me this story, he was really emotional. He hadn't talked to him in so long. Like, I want to say it was like 3 months, 4 months by then that they had like totally had stopped talking. And he told me, like, the reason why he became friends with him was because he felt like, wow, like, this person has gone through so much, and I just like want to be his friend because I've been through so much, and like, we have so much in common, and we have so much fun together, and like, we went to junior high together. Like, this is like a real friend to me. But then, I asked him about, like, why every time there was like a fight, he would become the more aggressive one, which is Zach, the white guy. Why he would get so defensive, so aggressive, and all this stuff. And he would just say, like, and I would ask him, like, is it like an underline of like jealousy? And he would say, no, I was never jealous of him. I never felt any kind of way, which I don't know. But he was just a friend who was just more confident and fun, and I just felt great having him around. And he just brought out the best in me. And I mean, I got him this job, and you know, like, I want the best for him. He's my best friend. But I'm like, well, you guys broke up this friendship, and it seemed like there was so much bad from LeBron's. I can't even get my names right. From LeBron's like actions and what he was telling me, that like, why continue to still want this friendship, right? And he's just like, listen, he's just been through so much, and I feel like I've had, you know, so much given to me. Like, my parents bought me a car, my parents gave me this house, my parents like give me everything I want, and here I have my best friend, and he's had none of that. And like, he's been able to hang out and stay at my house, and just like having someone there for him. Maybe I couldn't give him like the best entire like situation or scenario, but I gave him what I could, and my parents also helped him out. And I was like, okay. And why did your parents help him out? And he was just saying like, you know, they just really care about him and really loved him, and they wanted to be there for him. So it seemed very genuine. But then I asked him, have you experienced like guilt, like for being white and having all these things and all these advantages and privileges that he didn't have? And he straight up looked at me in my eyes and said, yeah. And he even said, I was waiting for someone to mention that. And yes, I feel guilty that I have this life, and I couldn't, like, I just like have to see my Black friend experience the opposite of me. And I was like, I get what you mean. Like, I get it. But at the same time, if you really care about your Black friends like you say you do, you open doors for them, which of course he had. I mean, he helped them out like by finding him a job. But like, you also find ways to fight for them politically. And a lot of people don't want to stick their neck out for Black people, you know, or minorities, or the gray minorities. They don't want to stick their neck out because they're going to lose out on the control. They're going to lose out on the privilege and all the good things that come with that, right? But, you know, it wasn't the first time I've had that conversation. I remember I was getting my car fixed, right? And I was I was just at this place getting my car fixed at the mechanics. And I remember having a conversation with the owner's son, he's white, and his son is white, with blue eyes, blonde hair, or brownish hair, whatever. And you know, we're just talking, because I'm just talking to them about like the car. And I'm like, hey, how you been? You know, like I literally was going there like every 2 months. So by this time, like when they would see me, they're just like, girl, just like, they just like, hey, how are you doing? How's the family? How's this? You know, it just got to that point because I was always there fixing my car. So the young guy that was there, we're just striking a conversation. He's like, oh, you know, you're here all the time. You know, this is what you need, this is what you need. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's just like a lot to do. You know, like, how do you, like, I was telling him, like, I don't even know how you handle like this job. This is crazy. And he's just kind of like, you know, I'm just thankful and this and that to have a job, man, because so many people don't have things, you know. And I was just like, okay, where's that coming from? You know, just because, I mean, his dad owns a company. So I'm like, where's that coming from, right? So I was like, how old are you? And he was like, oh, I'm 19, da, 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 da. At the time, I had to be like maybe 27. And I basically asked him, okay, like, do you have like a Black girlfriend or something like that? Or like, do you have like any like friends that are like Black or Latin, like, do you, or something, like, because The vibe was very like, I could just sense it. And he just straight up said it. He was like, no, well, my girlfriend's Filipino, and like, I feel guilty that, you know, like the life I have, she doesn't. And she's like, you know, just doesn't have like the stable, perfect kind of life that I do and the privilege that comes with it. She tells me that she wants to have a baby with me and she wants the baby to come out more European looking and with, you know, light eyes and basically the whole Caucasoid look. And I was just like, wow, like that's intense, you know, like it's not like the first time I've heard that, you know, like I grew up in DR and like, that was like something very common. Girls would say sometimes that they would just want a guy that looked a certain way to like fit this look, right? And just because they just didn't want their kids to go through certain discriminations, etc. And I was like, well, what are you doing about it? He was like, nothing. You know, I feel bad though. Like, you know, I just like sometimes I'm just like feel so shitty for like just, you know, like the life I have. And I'm like, do you ever feel bad for like black people and stuff like that? And he's like, yeah, all the time. Like a lot of times I'm just like, I check out emotionally about it, or I get a little like sad, like in a bad way, like depressed, like just questioning like my existence or what's the point. Well, here's the point. And this is why I made this video. The point is that if you're feeling this way, white person, if you're feeling this way about people that have been affected by the social construct of racism or the systematic oppression and of African people and just people with Negroid features, or people that are just non-white, if it bothers you, if it really bugs you deep down at the core of your soul, do something about it. Don't just feel bad about it. Like, talk to people, like, honestly about how you feel. And, like, tell them what you're willing to do to see things get better. Because I think it's crazy for us, or for people that are, you know, second, third, fourth generation American, befriending the ants, the children and the basically the people's children who ran you guys, you know, like without some type of agreement. Like, you know, you're over here letting your kids, which there's nothing wrong with different races being friends, but at some point we have to say, okay, well, why are we accepting friendships with white people when they haven't really gained our trust? Why are we accepting relationships with white people when they only like us when we're the token black person or the token Latino? Like, when you start sensing that that's the kind of relationships you have with white people, you need to step aside and say, hey, listen, you know, when they hit you up, they bug you, hey, I want to chill, da-da-da. They're the ones that want to, you know, spend their money on you because you're their black friend or their Latin friend and they feel like you're a little bit less fortunate. Just like, keep in mind that that doesn't do enough. Be like, hey, you know, I know that you fuck with me, but can you sign this petition to help, you know, would you sign this petition to help us change certain laws that could allow me to live better so you wouldn't have to feel any more guilt? Like, have you guys ever thought about that? Because, like, things aren't changing. As long as we continue to stay comfortable with how slow these changes are, without telling white people, hey, you know, this is what you have to do to get in good with us, just as much as you want us to get in good with you guys. Like, there needs to be some type of like setup. Like, we need to have some like type of setup to where we can build relationships and trust and friends with them. I don't think it's just as easy as, oh yeah, we grew up. Because you know what? Those two friends I were talking about, they pulled out guns on each other. And it was all because of being drunk and walling out and being stupid. And they've had crazy fights. But had that shit gone any further, who's gonna go to jail? Right? Because already you're probably thinking, who pulled out the gun? I'm not even gonna say who it was. But you fucking take a guess. So white people, stop clinging to, I feel guilty. You don't feel guilty if you're not making changes to the laws. You're not going to legislators and be like, yo, you guys need to take this shit off the motherfucking, this list. This is not working for the black people and the minorities, and they're not getting better. And things are not getting better for them. Therefore, you know, this white guilt is really taking over. Okay. I felt like making this video because it's not that I don't understand, because I get it, you know. A lot of like the history of Dominicans, for those that don't know, I'm Dominican and Haitian. Europeans, you know, Spaniards, etc., would come over and just, you know, do their thing and then mix with our women and etc. And I have to accept that part of my culture and blood and people, it's not just Africans. And it's not just natives. It's Europeans and native, and it's a lot. You know, and I have to accept the good, the bad, and the ugly, and understand that Africans do the bad, whites do bad, Asians do bad, mixed people do bad. Everybody has this fucked up shit about them, okay? But what we need to do is kind of let go of this whole color thing. You know, it's just not working. Life with no color, like I don't trust anybody that tells me I don't see color. I'm sorry, when you went and bought your house, did you buy it pink, red, blue, or that wonderful peach color that every Florida house has? Like, right? So let's not believe this whole I don't see color thing. That's unrealistic. Saying you don't see color is like saying you don't see race, and that's just a complete flat out lie. So I invite, you know, anybody to just tell me how they feel about it. Do you experience white guilt as a white person? And what are you doing about it? What are you doing about that guilt? Where is it coming from? Is it just something because you feel guilty that you weren't able to do the things that LeBron could? Or whatever your black homie's name is? Or do you just feel guilty that you aren't doing the things necessary to really have your friends back in the future? So that's all I have about this topic. I know it probably sounds like it's all over the place, and it's really because I've been tired. Like I've been having like this ridiculous shoulder pain because I've been working out, but I've been having crazy shoulder pain, neck pain, just been icing. Haven't been sleeping. I've been like putting my neck on this harness thing. So like I'm trying to get the best sleep I can possibly can. But I wanted to get a video in because tomorrow I have this PRP appointment, which is like, you know what? I should probably do a video about it. I'm not gonna talk any further. But thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace out. Bye.